On the one hand, I consider myself a very lucky person because I had the great fortune to be born and live my childhood in a small town of Burgos, surrounded by nature and with beautiful landscape. As my father was in charge of my education at home, I had a lot of free time to walk around the countryside seeing animals whose behavior I was able to understand and hence my interest in them, especially for the birds. On the other hand, I feel sad when I see the situation in which the human being is leading the environment, not only animals but also vegetation, without anyone doing anything to prevent it, because every year thousands of species disappear and the population remains impassive. I started my activity as a naturalist by chance because I studied medicine to follow my father's wishes. I was working as a doctor. Nevertheless, my passion was the birds of prey, and so I became a falconer. The Spanish government commissioned me to hunt two falcons to give them to the king of Saudi Arabia. So I went to a TV show with a beautiful falcon and wearing a falconer glove on my hand. It was such a huge impact, especially the enthusiasm I put in my explanations, that I was immediately granted a program about nature for television, and Planeta Sur was born, which could be later El Hombre y la Tierra, which was seen in 48 countries. Besides, I was appointed by the government the chief falconer of the kingdoms. Although the filming of wildlife has been my best known work due to the fact of thanks to it people were able to meet animal species that they didn't know to exist, so they began to love them, as it was the case of wolves, which were in danger of extinction in Spain and to whom I devoted an important part of my life to raising and preserving them. Nonetheless, the complaint about a state of deterioration of the planet was the most relevant matter in which I was interested and warning if the situation carried on the path that would be not turning back. However, a space I consider important was the one of the garbage issue, where the situation was so dramatic that our generation will be known as garbage generation. The huge amount of plastics, containers without returns, glasses, etc., that were filling our planet with landfills, and they lasted forever. Even though the fast disappearance of animals and vegetable species has been the issue most known because has been exposed in several worldwide forums, scientists haven't stopped warning about the speeding of the extinction of humanity if we went down that path. Still, it was the politicians who took decisions and with whose votes they turned their back on a green planet and stood for the welfare state and increasing consumption of the citizen welfare. My goal in life has been to try to convince human beings that only by becoming one with nature, where people, animals, and vegetation were the same thing, planet Earth will be able to survive.